It's interesting because before social media and we had, we talked about brand experience or whatever, but it was, your mainstream or traditional advertising, which was, here is our message, and it's a branded message. Social media is the thing is that what I find is people engaging with brands. It's not that brands want us, and I many the brands say we want to engage with consumers and we want to talk to consumers, and it's like, um, I suppose so, but I think it's a way to engage on a more human level, less forced, less the traditional advertising speak, and more of on a one-to-one speak. Case in point, I mean, I have a whiskey. I'm on Twitter as a whiskey file, and brands. I post something about a particular bottle, and when the brands react with me, I think that's really cool, because then it's like they heard me and they listened and they talked to me one on one. Because at the end of the day, even though advertising is a mass medium, we try to talk to one person. Well, social media is doing that now. It's talking to one person at a time. So let's say if you post something to a brand and the brand talks back to you, and but it's a person doing it, and I do the same, and they react and they talk to me. We may have two different messages, but it's still the brand talking to each of us individually, and we're going to get something perhaps a little different. But it's also a way of staying connected with those who may be either the influencers of your particular group. Because within our sphere, within our circle, you may be an influencer regarding a particular brand. So it's important upon the brand to stay connected with you, because then you'll have a positive rapport with the brand, and you will share that. Maybe not necessarily the experience, but when it comes to promoting that brand in a non-traditional sort of way, but just doing it through word of mouth, which is very powerful, you will do so unhesitantly. And it will come from a point that it's more honest, rather than you being a spokesperson by saying, I'm a paid spokesperson. No, you will be a spokesperson because of all the positive experiences you've had, especially using social media as a platform. And the thing is with social media too, because more and more people are going on there to either get news or talk, that there is, the thing is that there's also, if there is something bad, and if you do a misstep with your brand, it'll get out there right away. So it's incumbent upon the brands to be aware and stay sharp and to stay focused with the messaging, and that is as human and honest, truthful, but still talking about truths about the consumers, but doing it in a way that is connecting with them. Because if not, and if you don't abide by it, or if you stay away from it, if there's a brand failure, it goes on social media fast. Brand successes, sure, but brand failures, people jump on that fast, and it goes. And once it's out there, it's hard. You can have 100 successes to build up a brand, but it takes one failure to knock it down. So that's why it's important, if you're using social media, to really stay connected with your users, and it's also a way to extend the brand experience and the brand talking points, but not in a way that is overtly in an advertising way. You can talk about different things, so it's not always about a message that is, today, save 20%. Yes, that's always going to be there, but it could be a message that says, if you have this problem, we can help you with this. And it's not going to be in a traditional form where I expect an ad, but it's more of like another resource where the brand says, Martin, I see you have an issue with this thing. You know what? Why don't you use this instead? Maybe this can help. Now, I know this is a rather simplistic way, but I'm just saying that the messaging now is more human, more direct, more personal, more relevant, more focused, and more targeted, because it's talking one-on-one to you. And again, even though advertising is a mass medium, that's who we want to talk to. We want to talk to one person at a time. And now with social media, like I said earlier, that platform allows you that possibility to talk to 10,000 people, but you're talking to each one individually and with 10,000 perhaps different messages or similar messages. And sure, it keeps the content creator busy, but the thing is, you're talking to all those people at once. And then the connection is relevant because it's one-on-one, like we're doing right now. And that is the strength of and that's the beauty of social media. And that is that it's accessible to everyone, and every brand can talk to one person at a time. And the thing is that it's also, in traditional media, yes, you want people to buy space and you want airtime and whatnot, but talk about a way where brands can connect with consumers one-on-one, where it's not forced and it's not, the cost is not as expensive, and maybe it's a different way of approaching it, but I think it's a more organic way of getting the message across, which is ironic because it's a technological platform, but it's enabling us to communicate one-on-one. And that, at the end of the day, is when we enjoy conversation, it's one-on-one. The thing is that especially with social media, the thing is that the distance is that brands now, especially with all these different platforms, so you have the connection with, like, you may love this particular brand or of computer or car, whatever, but the fact is, the closer you can get to the consumer, to the user of your brand with all these other platforms, that you have all these, then the better and easier it is for you to get your message across, but also to develop that relationship. Because it's not just, I'm going into a store or I'm going to a website where, okay, this is the brand and I'm engaging with it, but I'm not really engaging with it. I'm buying the product or service, and I get all that. But these other platforms now humanize the brand, so it's not just this entity, but now we can start attaching adjectives to this entity. So then when we start doing that and we start describing this, then we've made a connection, because we have, when we describe people as like, like Bob is this kind of person. He's very timely. He's very smart. He's very savvy, and all those things. If we can start attaching adjectives now to the brands, then we've made that connection. Then the brand is not, again, just this metaphorical entity. Now it becomes more personal. So then that attachment just becomes even stronger, and it gets us even closer to the brand. The brand now becomes kind of like part of our lives. And it becomes a problem solver rather than hopefully just a product or a service. There are some brands like Apple, for example. People are really big Apple heads. In whiskeys, for example, in the Scottish whiskeys, there's many. From the region of Islay, they call these peated whiskeys, and they're very smoky. And some people they called peat heads, and they're aficionados, they're fanatics. And I'm not suggesting that every brand should have fanatics, but the thing is, those are the people, and we call them fanatics, but let's say brand advocates. Those are the people who help promote your brand because they're really into it. They're really into the experience. And it's done in an organic way that they then help bring out that word that you couldn't do or that would take so much of your resources in order to develop that. That's why it's key to use all those platforms and have develop brand experiences and brand engagement just past the messaging that gets the user attached to the brand.